Have you ever read a study with these just mind-blowing results and found yourself thinking, can I actually trust this? Well, the answer almost always hides in one crucial and, let's be honest, often skipped section. So today, we're going to decode the method section. It's the blueprint that separates solid, incredible science from some pretty shaky claims. Let's get into it.
You know the feeling, right? You're deep into a fascinating paper. The results look like a total game changer. But then this little voice in your head pipes up and asks, wait a minute, how exactly did they get these numbers? Is this for real? Honestly, that's the question every single critical thinker should be asking.
And that key to trust, the key to knowing if something can be repeated, is the method section. It is so much more than just a boring list of procedures. It's the architectural blueprint of the entire study. It's where the real nitty-gritty science is finally revealed. So, to build a truly rock-solid method section, we're going to focus on 4 essential pillars. Think of it like this. First, the study's overall blueprint. Then, the detailed action plan. After that, the story of how you handled the data. And finally, the absolutely crucial ethical checkpoint. So, first up, let's talk about the blueprint. Okay, part 1 is all about laying that foundation. Before you can jump into all the tiny details, you have to paint the big picture. Who did you study? Where did it all happen? And maybe, most importantly, how many people were actually involved? First things first, what kind of study are we even looking at? You have to be crystal clear about this. Is it a randomized controlled trial, an observational study, or maybe it's something like a longitudinal study where you're tracking the same athletes over an entire season? Defining your approach right from the start, that sets the stage for absolutely everything that follows.
Next up, who are your participants? And I'm telling you, just saying athletes is not nearly good enough. We need specifics. What's their age range, their sex? What sport are they in, and what's their competitive level? Are we talking about pros or high school kids? And this is critical. You have to clearly define your inclusion and exclusion criteria. Who got to be in the study, who didn't make the cut, and why? That kind of precision is just vital. So let's say you ended up with 42 participants. Great, but why 42? A really strong method section doesn't just throw out the final number, it justifies it. Was this number figured out using a power calculation to find a specific effect? Or were there practical reasons, like you were just working with one single sports team? You gotta explain your reasoning. It shows you planned ahead and you're aware of any limitations. All right, now for pillar number 2, the action plan. We've got the who, the where, and the how many. Now we need to know the what. What did you actually do in this study, and what exactly did you measure? If your study had some kind of intervention, like a specific new training program, you need to describe it in so much detail that another researcher anywhere in the world could replicate it exactly. It's not enough to just say neuromuscular training. You have to specify the frequency, the intensity, the volume, and exactly how it was integrated into the participants' regular routine. And listen, for every single thing you measure, you have to state the exact instrument you used. You're measuring sprint speed? You better specify that it was with electronic timing gates. Tracking injuries? Name the standardized protocol you used. This direct link between the variable you're measuring and the validated tool you're using, well, it's totally non-negotiable for credibility. That brings us perfectly to pillar number 3, the data story. So you've run the experiment, you've got your measurements, but that's really just the beginning. Now, how did you collect all those raw numbers, and how did you turn them into meaningful results? Consistency is absolutely everything, especially in these longer, longitudinal studies. You need to outline exactly when and how the data were collected. A super clear schedule, like testing a baseline before the season, checking in during the season, and testing again after. It just ensures that your whole data collection process is systematic and, most importantly, reliable. And this is the kind of detail we're talking about. Don't just say statistical analysis was performed. No way. You have to name the specific tests. In this example, the researchers used mixed effects models, which, by the way, are perfect for this kind of long-term data. You also need to state what software you used and what significance levels you set. This is literally the recipe that produces your result.
And that brings us to our 4th and final pillar, which you could argue is the most important one of all, the ethical checkpoint. Because look, great science is always, always ethical science.
You absolutely must state explicitly that you received approval from an institutional ethics committee. You have to confirm you got informed consent from every participant, and hey, if minors were involved, you need dissent from them and consent from their parents. This isn't just some box you tick off, it is the moral foundation of your entire work. So when you write your next paper, or even when you're just reading one, remember the methods section is so much more than just a chapter. It's the proof of your credibility, it's the guide for anyone who wants to replicate your work, and it's your ethical statement all rolled into one. It's the bedrock that everything else is built on. So the real question is yours built to last?